Hi, so welcome back. My name is Lauren. I love to read to you guys, and because we're claiming Elon Musk as we have launched into space this weekend, we have to start reading a book. So this is the big official one, and this is the kids version, which I love because the language is so much easier. The first chapter is the reporter who got Elon Musk to sit down and be interviewed and agree to this book to be written. So we get a bit of an insight into who this man is. We need to know that he is South African. Wonderful, but we will learn so much more. Let's start with the very first chapter, Dinner with Elon. Do you think I'm insane? This question came from Elon Musk near the end of the dinner we shared at a fancy seafood restaurant in Palo Alto, California. I'd gotten to the restaurant first and settled down, knowing Musk would, as always, be late. After about 15 minutes, Musk showed up wearing designer jeans, a plaid dress shirt, and leather shoes. So we're starting to get a picture of him, right? Good descriptive words. Musk stands 6'1", but ask anyone who knows him and they'll tell you he seems much bigger than that. He's extremely broad-shouldered, sturdy, and thick. You might guess that he would strut when entering a room. Instead, he tends to be almost sheepish. This time, he walked with his head tilted down, gave me a quick handshake hello, and then sat at the table. From there, Musk needed a few minutes before he warmed up and looked at ease. Musk asked me to dinner to negotiate. 18 months earlier, I had informed him of my plans to write a book about him. He'd informed me of his plans not to cooperate and do interviews for the book. His rejection stung at the time, but made me work harder as a reporter. I spent the last year and a half digging for sources of information and poring over Musk's life. Plenty of people had left Musk's companies, PayPal, Tesla Motor, and SpaceX, and agreed to talk to me. Plus, I already knew a lot of his friends, and they too had plenty of stories to tell. It was after interviewing about 200 of these people that I heard from Musk again. He called me at home one evening and said that things could go one of two ways. He could start blocking people from talking to me, or he could help me with the project after all. I, of course, said I preferred the second option. Musk said he'd be willing to cooperate if he could read the book before it went to publication and could add footnotes throughout it. He would not change my text, but he wanted the chance to set the record straight in spots that he judged inaccurate. I understood where he was coming from. Musk wanted control over his life story. He's also a physicist by training and hates factual errors. Any mistake in the book would gnaw away at him for months or even years. While I could understand his perspective, I could not let him read the book. A journalist must have the freedom to research a subject and then present the findings to the world without the fear of someone looking over their shoulder and possibly trying to tilt the work in his favor. Besides that, Musk has his version of the truth, and it often differs from the view held by others. Lastly, Musk tends to give very long answers to even basic questions, and the thought of footnotes that were longer than the actual book seemed all too real. The fancy dinner was our chance to chat all of this out, have a bit of a debate, and see where it left us. The fancy dinner was out. When the dinner first started, we talked for a while about people we both knew, famous businessmen like Howard Hughes and the Tesla car factory. About 20 minutes in, the waiter stopped by to take our order, and Musk asked for suggestions that would work with his diet. At the time, he did the whole low-carb thing and tried to avoid foods like pasta, bread, and sugary treats. He settled on chunks of fried lobster coated with black squid ink. Even before our negotiation had really begun, Musk started talking and opening up in his uniquely serious fashion. He confessed to being terrified that Google's co-founder Larry Page might be building a fleet of artificial intelligence enhanced robots capable of destroying mankind. "I'm really worried about this," Musk said. It didn't make Musk feel any better that he and Larry Page were very close friends and that he felt Page was a good person. In fact, that was sort of the problem. Page's nice guy nature left him assuming that the machines would forever do what he wanted. "I'm not an optimist," Musk said. "He could produce something evil by accident." When the food arrived, Musk consumed it. That is, he didn't eat it as much as he made it disappear rapidly with a few huge bites. Wanting to keep Musk happy and chatting, I handed him a big chunk of steak from my plate. The plan worked for all of 90 seconds. Meat, hunk, gone. It took a while to redirect Musk's thoughts to robots taking over humanity and get him to talk about the book. Once he did, Musk immediately asked why it was that I wanted to write about him. I had been waiting for this moment. Excited, I launched into what was meant to be a 45-minute speech about all the reasons Musk should let me invade his life, and that he should allow me this intrusion while getting none of the controls he wanted in return. To my surprise, Musk cut me off after a couple of minutes and simply said, "Okay." The dinner ended with pleasant conversation and Musk abandoning his healthy diet for a giant cotton candy dessert sculpture. It was settled. Musk would allow me to talk to the executives at his companies, his friends, and his family. He would meet me for dinner once a month for as long as it took to complete the book project. For the first time, Musk would let a reporter see the inner workings of his world. 2.5 hours after we started, Musk put his hands on the table, made a move to get up, and then paused. He locked eyes with me and asked that incredible question. "Do you think I'm insane?" The strangeness of the question left me speechless for a moment while I tried to figure out if this was some sort of riddle. It was only after I'd later spent lots of time with Musk that I realized the question was more for him than me. Nothing I said would have mattered. Musk was stopping one last time and wondering aloud if I could be trusted, and then looking into my eyes to make his judgment. A split second later, we shook hands, and Musk drove off in a red Tesla Model S sedan. And that is the end of Chapter 1. I'll be back to read Chapter 2 in another video. Bye.